Hey there. Normally I don't do crafts at my desk, but I'm just kind of doing a little impromptu test, but I thought I'd bring you in on it. I recently got this magnet, right? One of those flexible magnets for putting on your car, like if you want to have your logo on a car. We have a parade that's coming up for the 4th of July, and we want to put this on our car temporarily. So it's flexible, right? It's meant to conform to your car surface, and we've checked it and it does great. So, but this is really boring. This is supposed to be glittered. Very boring. So what I'm going to do is actually put some epoxy with some glitter. That's the same color as that, and I'm going to hand paint it in. Now epoxy is not flexible, but the car is going to be about that much bent. So this is my test. My real one is behind me and will be done in the studio, but I'm just knocking out a real quick test here because I suspect it will be fine. Now, if this was a logo that was living on the car forever and ever, you wouldn't want to use epoxy because epoxy does not have UV inhibitors. So it would eventually kind of yellow, crack, become yucky looking. But for one day in the 4th of July, or maybe an occasional time afterwards, totally fine. So I'm going to go ahead and just work on doing a little work here and see how it comes out. Thought I might share it with you, just in case you ever have to do a quick logo. I'm just going to hand brush it on with a really fine brush. And if you guys have watched any of my videos, you know I always love to choose a glitter that's the same color as what's underneath, because you don't have to work as hard. If you don't take it right up to the edge, nobody's going to really see it because what's underneath it is the same. If you had let's say the continents were in blue glitter and you put pink glitter over it, you're asking for a whole lot of work. So if possible, I always highly recommend whatever surface you're putting your glitter on, try and make it the same as what's underneath it. You'll use less glitter and you have to work less hard. You always see me wearing these glasses, right? These are magnifying glasses. And when I'm doing artwork, I really want to be able to get in there and do fine detail. So even if you have pretty darn good eyesight, sometimes for doing these very fine detail crafts, it helps to get a pair of magnifiers. I even have a loop that I wear on my head for when I'm trying to get something absolutely perfect. And I don't know, that magnification is crazy. You can see little pores. Little pores that look like mountains. Yeah, you can still see the image underneath it, but when it dries, it's just going to give it that much more sparkle. Can you see? Whee! See how this, doesn't sparkle? But that does. Okay, I'm going to show you how it turns out. Hello, so it's the next day, and as you can see, it's dry, or at least getting there. Epoxy takes a little time to cure, but it's certainly, touchable and so forth. Okay, so I want to see how sparkly it is? It really, makes that pop. The original printed image looked like glitter, but it just didn't have that beautiful sparkle. So I feel like it's worth taking the time to do either accents or total coverage on something. It really is going to make it stand out. And when you're driving down the road and the light hits that, it's going to be noticed. So definitely thumbs up on using glitter on your car magnets. Okay, now as for flexibility, epoxy is not known for being the most flexible. Well, there you go. See that? No problem. It's handling it just fine. Our surface of the car is just a very light, slight bend at the top on the tops on the hood of the car, so it should be totally fine. But do keep in mind, and I know I mentioned it before, but I'm just going to mention it again because I don't want to set you up. Epoxy doesn't have UV inhibitors as part of it. If you have this on your car for months and months and months, you might find cracking or yellowing or some other effect. if you're planning to leave this magnet on, this is not like it's just a decoration like we're doing for like a parade, but you're planning to leave it on, rather than epoxy, you might use the Everclear brand that we're always talking about, which is a solvent urethane. It's a bit thinner, so as you're brushing it on, be very aware of it and make sure that it doesn't run. You'll want to use a very light coat of it and go with that. So, and that has a UV inhibitor on it, and it will probably, you know, stick without any issues to the magnet, although of course, test, test, test. All right, so we'll go ahead and do our real magnet. This was just our test, and I can't wait to see what it looks like.